Well, I'd like to read through the books of the Bible in one sitting to capture the theme and what the author was trying to say, rather than just reading a few verses here or there. So while I was reading through Matthew, I noticed that I had several LFLs marked in my margin, Lesson for Life. They all were around the same theme, living generously. Now, if you stop to think about who the author was, it was Matthew, a tax collector who gave it all up to follow Jesus. Now, tax collectors were the last people to be described as being generous. And yet, when Matthew chose to follow Jesus, he is now the greatest teacher of generosity. Listen to what Matthew 6:19-21 records, because he's recording the words of Jesus in his famous teaching of the Sermon on the Mount. Don't store up treasures here on earth where moths eat them and rust destroys them and where thieves break in and steal. Store your treasures in heaven where moths and rust cannot destroy and thieves do not break in and steal. Wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. Well, Matthew pens these words to remind us that what we treasure, what we value is where our heart, our focus, and our energy will be. I believe Matthew knew the truth of this lesson more than others, as he was very wealthy and lived a life of storing up or accumulating wealth, not a life of generosity. So, how could I live generously? Well, would it depend on how much I had? You see, for many, we get trapped into thinking that we will be generous after we have stored up or accumulated a lot. Well, generosity has nothing to do with how much you have. It has everything to do with not holding on tightly to what you have. Living generously enables you to own your stuff and not let your stuff own you. Do I need to say that again? Living generously brings joy and freedom as you share with others. Living generously enables you actually to be more like God. Listen to Jesus' words in Matthew again, chapter 5, verse 48 from the Message. In a word, what I'm saying is, grow up. Your kingdom subjects now live like it. Live out your God-created identity. Live generously and graciously toward others the way God lives toward you. Bam, there it is. You were created to live generously because you have the DNA of God. So God wants us to live like He lives, and He lives generously towards us. And that's a lesson for life.